encouraged by the fact that the government's running an auction. You know, H.L. Mencken said it was an auction off of stolen goods, and that's what the government does. So people have an incentive, the business people, everybody has an incentive to go to Washington because there's this redistribution of wealth and they have this incentive. Now, what we have to do is get the power out of Washington, get the money out of Washington. You won't have the incentive to go up and try to buy this power and control. But today, we have a system that has been totally undermined, and the special interests do have control of it. But another way we could solve this, if we, once again, had only those people who were dedicated to the Constitution, who weren't influenced by these special interests and couldn't be bought off, this would all come to an end as well. Or only if there's a declaration. If there's a need to it and to defend this country, we should declare the war as we did in World War II, go fight and win it and just come home. That's what we need to do. Or will we be attacked because we're free and prosperous? I do not believe that is the reason. A crisis, whether it's an economic crisis that requires us to bail out those in privileged positions, or when we have an international crisis like 9/11, it's used as an excuse to do the very things they've been wanting to do all along. They are defending their homeland, and we're trying to kill them, and they want to kill us because we're there. The more we go in, the more Taliban there's going to be. The more the people that, it's a catch-22. There's no ending to it. That is why the non-interventionist foreign policy of the founders makes so much sense. Let them deal with their problems. We'll deal with our problems here at home. Prior to 1912, there was no war on drugs, and a lot of people survived, you know, even in those years, when they could go out and buy whatever they wanted. But the war on drugs is very, very dangerous. But the war on drugs is, matter of fact, drugs are very, very dangerous. But the war on drugs, I think, is more dangerous than the drugs themselves. I do want to make a very strong point, both as a physician, as a parent, and as a grandparent. All drugs are dangerous. Illegal drugs are dangerous. The war on drugs are dangerous, but prescription drugs are very dangerous as well. But certainly if we would follow the rules about giving more prerogatives to the states, some states now are just making token efforts to say that people who smoke marijuana for medical reasons should be allowed to. A few states have passed laws that way. But what happens? We have the heavy hand of the federal government coming down. They undo this whole principle of states' rights and say that we will tell you what you can do. And our federal government has been known to arrest sick people in wheelchairs, individuals who are getting benefits from marijuana, and putting them in prison. That makes no sense whatsoever. Occasion when they actually go into the wrong homes, and they've actually killed the wrong people. They shouldn't even be doing it, but it is out of control. They'll march into our homes without the proper authority, and the Fourth Amendment was supposed to guarantee that we would not be invaded by our government without a proper search warrant. That the president, under his understanding as being the commander-in-chief, he could assassinate American citizens. Now, he explained it constitutionally. He said that he's the commander-in-chief, and if it's not prohibited in the Constitution, he's allowed to do anything he wants. I think he has that flipped around a little bit. He's supposed to be able to do only the things that he has the explicit authority to do, not the other way around. So he went and proved his point. He's already now assassinated 3 Americans. Well, the first one, Al-Awlaki, probably a bad guy, even though they never made any charges. They never had a trial. They never said he did anything. But he probably was associated with some bad actors. He wasn't in his country, so they said, we're going to go after him, and with a drone missile, they killed him. So he had no due process. But they said that another family member was an associated force, associated with him, so therefore he was guilty too. So the next week, they assassinated him. But it turned out he was 16 years old, barbecuing in the backyard with his cousin. I don't think that's what America is supposed to be all about at all. I think we have to have more respect for civil liberties in this country. When the people wake up and send the message, even those individuals in Washington who are sound asleep get the message, because they were getting onto that bill wholesale. They had the votes, and it was about to come to the floor. The people like you woke up and sent messages out there. So we still have enough freedom to wake this country up and change the direction, but it has to come from the people. It won't come top down. It has to come from the people, because government reflects the values of the people. So if that's what you want and you speak out and you do your job, Washington will change. Yes, and I complain about how the drug laws are enforced. If you're poor and a minority, you're more likely to be punished than if you're rich and you're white. That's just the facts of life. What we want to do is protect personal liberty, but not economic liberty. But if you understand what liberty is all about, that it's individual. We get it from our Creator in a natural way, and our rights are natural to us. That it's the freedom that we want. It's not the decision on how we're going to use this freedom, because each and every one of us might use it differently. So we shouldn't tell other people how they're going to use their freedom, but you say, well, they might waste their money. Well, that should be their problem. They waste their money. Responsibility to deciding what is good for you, what you put in your body, your mouth, and your social values. Yes, some of that is very, very dangerous, but you should suffer the consequences. But once you have government doing this, where they're trying to protect you from yourself economically or by your personal habits, there's nothing left of freedom when government's telling you what to do to protect you from yourself. So the responsibility falls on us. We have to assume this responsibility. That doesn't mean we don't care. We don't endorse the way people use their freedom. If they use it, if they follow a religion we don't like, that doesn't mean you have to endorse it. We don't endorse it. So if people have a lifestyle you don't like, you just say, well, that's their business, and you write it off. But you don't have to be judgmental. And this to me,